Hey, so I wrapped up SANS Security 617 wireless penetration testing and ethical hacking a couple of days ago, and I'm starting to get ready for the GAWN GIAC Assessing and Auditing Wireless Networks exam. So I figured I'd make a video on how I kind of prep for these tests. I'll preface this with I don't have a pile of SANS certs. I have one other GIAC. It's the GCTI that I got around this time last year, I think early in January maybe. I've talked to a bunch of people who've made the passed a bunch of their tests, and this is kind of the method that I came up with that helped me based on what their feedback was. Um, for those who don't know, SANS tests are open book, or GIAC exams are open book. You're allowed to bring in a book, handwritten notes, and things like that. Um, but there's a lot of books, and the tests aren't very long, and they have a lot of questions. So you can't really rely on just having access to your books to pass them. You have to have, a significant amount of the knowledge already in your head. But you can use them as a reference point for some of the trickier questions. The method most people kind of recommend is building out an index so you know where to find stuff in the books. How you build out your index will vary a ton based on who you are, how you kind of think about things, and how your brain processes stuff. So this is my method, but there's a lot of them, and some people this is not going to work, and some it will. So take it for what it's worth. Um, but basically, how it works is there's a stack of books that you get with every SANS course you take. I think for this class, there's one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, including the workbook. So what I'll end up doing is going through each of those, and as we took the class, you'll see that you can kind of see in my book, I highlight sections of things that are sort of relevant to what I'm talking about. And then what I'll go through and do is use a post-it to kind of tag it. So you'll see along the top, there's a little post-it with a phrase. In this case, it's looking at the physical layer of an omnidirectional antenna pattern. So I put PHY Omni as my little tag. And then what I'll do is in an Excel sheet, I'll come through and I'll write down the corresponding book, the page number, and then a couple of keywords. So in this case, omnidirectional, dipole, and donut, because it kind of looks like a donut. The intent here is that during the test, if you don't know the answer, hopefully one of these keywords pops up in the question and you know a quick reference point. Now, this does take a considerable amount of time, but the practice of doing this actually helps a ton, at least for me, remembering the information because you have to reread the books and you have to go through everything and you're scanning for keywords and you're scanning for things that could be questions. And what the inevitable result ends up looking is something like this. This is from my GCTI, where it's just a whole slew of tags everywhere, right? And then the index ends up kind of looking like this. So it's a whole bunch of different pages, different keywords. As you can see, not all of them have three keywords. Some actually have more. There's four types of detections. There's some configuration analysis, indicators, threat behaviors, things like that. And this was a threat intelligence course, so a whole bunch of case studies got noted. I also tend to color code my tags. For this one, I'll probably use red for attack methodologies. I'll probably use yellow for just general definitions, and some other colors for some case studies and things like that. It's really important to understand a lot of these things and what might be asked in questions. I'll have a separate color for tools. CyberChef was covered in this one. It wasn't covered in the current course, but super useful tool. And then come test day, you have the ability to reference your index, which hopefully gets you through your questions a little bit quicker wherever you get stuck. And if you have any spare time, if you haven't already taken breaks and things like that, it just gives you the ability to kind of review and make sure you're not messed up on any of this stuff. So yeah, if you're going to take a GIAC exam, if you're doing it in person, I think they usually include a pack of Post-its. That's what they're for. Or they include a pack of stickies. They're SANS branded. So use them. If not, just go pick up a pack of Post-its. They sell the little tab ones. I think they're called page markers. And I like Sharpie S-Gel pens. They don't smear. They don't kind of bleed through, which is a problem with some of the other pens I had. And go to town. Again, this might work for you. It might not. Give it a try, though. It's helped me pass this one, and I hope it'll help me pass 617 and whatever exams I take in the future. So that's my tip for the day for how to study for GIAC certs. Have a great day.